actually grown for its stem. So you would grow it to the stem till about 3 centimetres, and it's the stem that you're after. And you can use it raw, perhaps like a celery stick, or you can chop it up and use it in a stir fry, for example.
That sounds just up my street.
What are you doing?
We also have a variety of a chocha. The fruit's been described as a cross between a mouse and a hedgehog. This particular chocha is called Fat Baby.
The strangest cat in the whole entire universe.
So here the seed, unusual shape, and the fruit will grow to about small size like this. You can grow them larger, but then that's when you need to roast them, maybe like a stuffed pepper.
Okay, so great for small hands then.
Absolutely, yes.
Good, lovely, I like those.
You've got this thing called cat toys as well, you know.
Are sent out to community seed swaps. But the many other local plant sales and seed swaps around the country are also a really good way to find your local heirloom varieties. So I've got my seeds, I'm going to go home and grow my heritage plants, and I'm going to save my seeds, and hopefully I can come back and show you and maybe give you some seed back.
That would be wonderful. Love to see how you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very drinkable this wine.
Very good pick. Terrain Rosé. Very raspberry notes.
Get you.
The work of the Heritage Seed Library over the years has been heroic and really important in conserving varieties and rare seeds that otherwise would have long disappeared, and growing them at home, nurturing them, enjoying them. That's the way that they've been kept alive. So 3 cheers for their work. Now, still to come on today's programme, we pay another visit to the Lynn Garden to catch up with Matthew Young, who's getting some expert advice about the trees in the collection.
This fella here is absolutely amazing. This is beautiful.
First you're fiddling with the yellow piece of string, and now you're fiddling with your foot.
And Carol continues her preparations for her ambitious show garden at Hampton.
This is all yours.
Wow, what a lovely...
Oh, don't you touch my headphones.
Can't wait to see how you put them together.
That's a lovely bit. This is the nail-biting bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I know you were eyeing up that wire.
Somehow cabbages don't really feel like a summery vegetable, but they can be. And I've got some Cavolo Nero, which of course is black Tuscan kale, in a row there.
I know all your
these
secrets.
Are greyhound cabbages that I've grown from seed. Now, greyhound is a variety with a pointed top, which I should be harvesting August, September. I've not grown cabbages in this bit of ground before, and under a normal rotation principle,
This is the longest washing process I've ever seen.
Sweet peas, broad beans, runner beans, French beans, they're all legumes, and they can...
You know you're in the spotlight.
And the species
I suppose you're not bothered.
relatively close together, they don't need to be huge. And cabbages do very well on fairly rich soil. So give them a little bit of compost if you've got it.
Why are you headbutting my foot? Yes, why are you?
I'll plant 1, maybe 2 more rows here. But while I'm doing that, we're going to pay our 3rd and final visit.
No, you haven't answered my question
to the
yet.
garden in Argarden Butte, just north of Glasgow, that is in the process of being lovingly restored by its owner, Matthew Young.
No.
I took on the huge job of restoring a botanical garden that had lain largely untouched for years.
I'm one of those idiots who doesn't really question his decisions once they've been made and can't be unmade. So at no point...
You can't get at it.
I really wish we hadn't done this.
You can't get it.
Everything that we've
Oi.
taken on has been harder
No.
than quite realised it was. But
You can't get at it.
I like it when things happen. You just have to dig your heels in and work a little bit harder and get stuck in. The very first thing that we did was just tidy up. And actually, after a few weeks, you can kind of kid yourself that the garden's almost ready. And then our big mistake was we started actually doing real work.
Don't try and bite my finger.
One of the very first things that we did was to redig those ponds because they had been... Well, the Lynn itself means bog. And because they weren't lined, they were slowly but surely returning to bog. This whole area really has been completely transformed. When we first got here, the water was just draining away. It was silting up. There was about that much mud on the bottom of it. And now that it's all been put back together, it looks totally natural, and as if it's been here for years. It's absolutely amazing. It's been completely re-excavated. It's been properly lined. Like, descending waterfalls have been built between the 3 ponds, which weren't really there before. That is an Osmunda regalis. But there's a little surprise in there. When the fronds
Stop gnawing at my trousers. I will give you back the piece of string if you stop headbutting my head.
Because the fronds were cut back, the first thing that came up was just this island of beautiful white sand.
Tell me you will stop headbutting my head. Tell me.
This bed behind me is the New Zealand alpine lawn. When we first moved in here, it was overrun with ferns, it was overrun with grass.
Tell
is the absolute worst
me.
problem that we've got in here.
Answer the question.
Plants, like proper
Answer it.
tags, and you can easily see like these little mounds of things in and amongst all the mess that were clearly still intact. To get to go in here and try and dig out the real parts of the collection,
Inside Summer Fun with Harry.
Everything in here has got thorns of one kind or another. There's a species you can see in there, it's an Achyphylla, and it is absolutely stabby. So you're getting in there,
A piece
and
of
you're
string.
trying to pull out all this sort of creeping strawberry that's overwhelming the place. And the plants that you're trying to preserve just keep stabbing you in the hand. It's going to take constant maintenance to keep it at this level. But for now, we're as close as we can be to being done.
Oi, I know you're looking at my sock.
I really want this to be a botanical garden again. You're
Why's your
talking about
tongue, like,
probably a
really
10-year
wet?
project to get back to that kind of stage. I
Really?
want it to be the kind of place that really strikes a chord with some people, and they will want to keep coming back.
String. Answer.
This is the kind of
Question.
job that you walk
Give
around and every corner you turn, you're just like,
Me
oh, I
back
should
my
do this.
leg.
And it would pretty
I
quickly
want
become
movement
apparent that
of
you
my
can't
leg.
just leave this up to one person. But you
I
need
want-
expertise at some point.
I want movement of my left leg.
He's a tree
I
expert.
don't
He's
want
gonna
to
come in and
kick
walk around
you.
the garden with me and just give me the benefit really of his knowledge.
I want
What we have
movement
in here
of
that's
my left
precious,
leg,
what we have in here that might not
and I'm
be
sure you
just
want this
guesswork.
string,
Can only get
but
so
you will
far.
not get the string
This
if
bit here
you
is all really
keep
great.
on
Yeah, it's got
sitting
about 10 trees
on top
all rammed
of
into a tiny, tiny
my
space.
of
The
my
one that I
leg.
thought struck me is there's an Abies coriander there with this beautiful black cones.
Yeah.
But because it's also dense, the beautiful black cones are about 10 metres up in the air.
So this is a classic case of somebody planting up a rockery with dwarf conifers, and then too much time going by, and they're not so dwarf anymore. And it's hiding your
Harry,
really
if you go on like this, you're going to strangle
Korean fur
yourself.
So if you took down this Lawson cypress in front, which is only ever going to get bigger, you get a really nice view of your Korean fir, and again you'd open up the understory just a little bit to provide some more planting
Go on
opportunities. Over here, we've got Eucryphia milligani, really exciting tree, fantastic to have it in the garden, and it's so nice to find a garden where someone had the imagination to plant something as rare as this. This hemlock, at the moment, they're playing nicely together, but soon that hemlock is going to get bigger and bigger and start to crowd out and damage your Eucryphia.
Oh, thank you.
That hemlock is going to have to go
I have
if you want to
movement.
keep a really nice specimen in your Eucryphia.
Your heavy
That would
bottom.
definitely be the tree I would favour over here. Trees have a useful lifespan, and when they've outgrown that useful
Why
lifespan,
has this
in a
just gone
relatively
nowhere?
restricted space, you've got to know when to take them down and give
This has
something
gone
a chance
nowhere.
and let things move on.
This fella here is absolutely amazing.
This
I
is
have
beautiful.
no idea what it
A
is.
tabby
It's
cat.
gorgeous.
So this is the New Zealand Remu. It's the only temperate member of its genus. It comes from New Zealand. It's one of the tallest naturally occurring trees in New Zealand.
Once
And
upon a
it's very,
time,
very rare in
there was a
gardens in the
tabby
UK.
cat.
But it's happy here tucked under a cliff face.
He lived in a household
It's already
with 3 other
an
people.
incredible garden. And it's got this wonderful secret garden vibe to it. There are some treasures here, things you just don't
He
find
loved
elsewhere,
sitting
except maybe in
on
the
the
odd specialist
third one
collection.
that was smaller than the other two.
This is Fitzroy Cuprioides from Chile, and this is
And for some
highly
strange
threatened
reason,
Chile.
he loved
It's the giant
nicking
redwood of South
socks out
America
of
in
my
the
sock
early ways,
drawer.
So it can grow to enormous sizes. It can live for thousands of years, but in cultivation, like so many other
And he
southern
loved
hemisphere trees
wrecking
in the
pants.
north, in gardens, they tend to be quite small, but it's
And
really
he
beautiful
loves
with these pendulous shoots.
to chase a
Bark
mouse
is gorgeous
around the
on this as
house
well,
like
and it's a
nobody's
really nice
business.
tree. And like you say, instead of growing tall, it's all twisted here, which makes it look really beautiful with all the moss and the lichen going on.
It is, and actually, you know, you've got so many of those characters that you can appreciate low down because it's branched low, because it's not too big. You don't have to look 80 feet into the air to see the first branch like you would in a wild forest, so it's really, really nice.
And for some strange reason, he also loved to chase
This tree,
a yellow
I think I walked
string
past it 2 or 3 times before I
up and down the
noticed it,
sofa.
and it's taken me by
It's
surprise.
attached
It's a mulberry.
to the
It's
sofa.
interesting for being a white mulberry. So this is Morris alba.
Attach.
The white mulberry is
Yeah,
a tree
attach.
on which the entire silk industry has always depended and still depends to this day. So
Makes
thousands
me
of
want to
years
get
ago,
some
in
scissors and
ancient
cut
China,
it off.
someone figured out
Just so I
how
can
to
chuck it
feed
over
these
there.
leaves to a little caterpillar
Oi,
with silk at the end of a very complicated
oi,
process.
no attacking my
And
trousers.
wherever that silk
My
worm
trousers
was
are on
later
my body.
exported to for the silk industry, you couldn't just have the worm, you needed the tree as well. So quite what it's doing in Argyll, I'm not so sure.
And thriving.
But thriving. It's really, really happy. This is a garden that is lucky to have found someone with Matthew's vision, energy, madness, who's willing to work his way through it and bring it back to life.
The white mulberry that he found, I would never have spotted it. I would have never thought to find a special tree in that location. I feel really optimistic, to be honest. It's nice to know that what we now do will be informed by expertise rather than the
I've really enjoyed seeing the progress at the Lynn. I think it's a fascinating project, and I wish them nothing but success as it continues, which of course it will do for years to come. Now, here in the writing garden, we're beginning to get a return on the work that I began last autumn, taking out very dominant shrubs, replacing them with annuals and perennials that are much lighter in feel. Things like this Allium Everest. A really good white bulb with touches of green, and of course the green is really important. But it will get better and better, and progress is being made. Now,
Why don't you go off and find your sister?
Selects
Yeah,
one
she's
person
boring.
to be the horticultural hero. And this year, that honour
Even
has
Mum
fallen
said it.
to Carol. And as part of this prestigious award, she is creating a garden at the Hampton Court Paris Garden Festival. And that garden will celebrate her life's work in horticulture and her love of plants. We've been following its progress from the outset, and now we make another trip to join Carol and see how she's getting on.
What if I call him a slug? No,
Isn't this just
still doesn't work.
twinkling in the rain? You don't mind that it's raining. I've been so busy getting ready for Hampton Court that I've completely neglected my own garden. I just haven't had a chance. I've just been rushing around everywhere.
Doesn't hurt.
So
Doesn't hurt.
stopped you in your tracks. And of course,
Harry, stop it.
has to be this Cercis. It's a Judas tree. My mum grew it from seed. And it's
Yeah,
just
get
glorious.
off.
A member of the pea family. and
Harry,
this beautiful
get
pea
off.
flowers exude from the branches
Get
that
off.
just come out. But there's things to do. I better get on with it. I'll be back though. My Hampton Court show garden is
Yeah, okay,
huge.
now it hurts.
25
You
by
win.
15 metres, with paths meandering through different habitats. It's going to be packed
Stop
with
it.
plants.
What? My
Some
foot's out of the
which
way
I've
now.
been growing
Ow.
myself
Ow.
Here at Glebe Cottage. One of the messages of the garden, if you want to call it that, is grow your own plants. And there's nothing in here that anybody would have any difficulty in growing at all. Just look at this. My grandchildren were here last week and they sowed some peas and they're just starting to sprout. They're going to look lovely. So this is the ammi that I sowed last time you were here. It's germinating very sporadically, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because this is my contingency. Once they start growing, they really rocket away. And as you can see from these, now they've been pricked out, potted on, and they're really ready to be potted into great big pots. Now normally you'd do this in stages, but I want these to grow and grow and grow like mad, so that by the time July comes, hopefully they're going to be up here and full of these great big
finally
creamy
some
flowers
peace and
right
quiet.
the way across